Hey, what's going on? It's Vianney here. I want to walk you through a topic today that's super important, which is how you can add recurring revenue to your coaching and consulting business. In fact, we're going to talk about the top 5 ways that you can add 30 to 50K to your coaching or consultancy business pretty quickly without really having to change very much. Okay, so stick around. Let's get stuck in. And please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. This is the first video that I'm excited to bring you guys value on YouTube. Let me know that you enjoy this kind of content in the comments below, and let's get stuck in. Now, before we do that, let's just talk quickly about what recurring revenue actually is and why it's important for your business and why you should consider it. First and foremost, recurring revenue at a basic. Think about the way that Netflix charges you, right? That is a recurring revenue business model because they're paying you every single month. But that doesn't mean that subscription models like Netflix or Disney or gyms are the only way to get recurring revenue, right? If you think about it, most businesses have an element of recurring revenue, whether they know it or not. The thing that creates recurring revenue is you owning the business that a customer does in your space, in your market, for the longest period of time as possible. So, for example, if you're a lawyer, right, and you're in charge of handling, many things that your customer deals with over a lifetime, you're actually creating recurring revenue in that regard. Obvious ones are accountancy, MSPs, IT companies, stuff like that. Less obvious ones are coaches, because typically coaches don't know how to set this up very well. And so what we're going to do today is show you exactly how to do that by counting down the top 5 ways. And then in the end, stick around, I'll show you what the model is that we run and what I'm really fond of, because it makes life easy, it's time light, it's very profitable, and the sell isn't too difficult either. All right. So with that in mind, let's get stuck into the very first way that you can grow recurring revenue with your coaching or consulting business. So kicking us off with number 5 in no particular order. One of the things that you can do as a coach or a consultant is work with clients over a longer period of time, right? So think about this for a second. You're probably used to working through 3-month transformations, something like that. If you extend that and create a 12-month experience with you, by definition, it's going to be happening for longer. Now, one of the things you could do is just charge more up front, but then obviously your customer has to deal with a sticker shock on that front, okay? And then they might not want to spend 100K right now, but they might be totally fine spending 10K a month, depending on what's going on. So instead of charging 30 grand for the 3 months that you're going to work with them, charging them in 10K a month, but actually working with them for the whole year, creates much more lifetime value on your side. They get served better, and they don't feel the sticker shock of having to spend 100 grand right now, which will obviously decrease sales in a big way. What I want you to think about here is lifetime value. So a couple of ways that you can do this, right? One-on-one intensive. This would be high ticket, but also high time investment from you. And so what we're going to do is just run a quick pros and cons list of what this actually contains. Okay, so pros for the one-on-one stuff, which is a high value but high cost to your business, either in terms of you've got staff members doing it or you're doing it, right? So very high value for the client, but very high cost for you as well. It still brings in the highest amount of revenue. If all you're leveraging is your time and you are, say, a consultant or a coach working in that space, it might be a really profitable thing to do, right? You might only want to work with 5 clients at 10K a month each, and there you've got your 50K per month in terms of recurring revenue for the whole year, right? That's still a 600K a month business. There's nothing to snuff at with high profit margins. And if done right, another pro is it has a very big effect on the actual client, because you're working with them intensively one-on-one. So you're actually creating a large transformation within their world. One of the things I will say, just in terms of cons, is that this is time demanding, right? It's not infinitely scalable. And that's okay. For some people, you might not want to infinitely scale things. You might only want to work with 5 to 10 clients, and that's totally fine. But that's worth being aware of. The other thing is, in terms of a con, that it doesn't really leverage pre-existing assets to a very large degree. Now, obviously, you might have your assets that you're using to help you populate whatever it is that you're doing for the person, right? Say it's marketing or say it's consultancy on the sales side. You've obviously got your scripts that you're changing to help improve their sales structure and so on in that example, but it's still your time, okay? So it's not super leveraged, and you've obviously got limited clients, okay? So these are the big pros and cons there. It also means you're not really going to grow much of a following. Now, just bear this in mind as a kind of neutral point here. If all you want is 5, 10K month clients, and you know that you're going to do a great job with them, and you're going to be working 30 hours a week, and that's all groovy with you, and you don't want a massive network, you don't really care about being able to step away for a month and still get paid, well then this is probably a really good solution. Getting straight into number 4 here, what you can do is create an inner circle / mastermind. Now think about this as the way that we're talking about just now, right? You've got your one-on-one offer, which is obviously very high on the time investment, but also very high in the profit margin, assuming that the only thing that you're leveraging is time and you're not using staff to fulfill. Now, the next level here, the inner circle / mastermind, is that same concept, but in a group. We're going to use the inner circle as an example. Imagine that you're bringing a group of people into your inner circle, and what you're doing is you're helping them move through, again, let's say a 12-month transformation. What you can do in this situation, and again, pros and cons, is that you can leverage this in a really, really big way because everyone's going through the exact same transformation. Say you're helping people make money online, you will have a specific path. And so the curriculum is pre-written. So what you can do is you can leverage this really, really highly with, let's say, your program and with, let's say, a private VIP community where these people get to hang out and ask questions. And when you set up the boundaries correctly, so that they're not DMing you all the time, but they're either speaking in the group chat or they're posting in the community and asking questions there, what happens is that your time in actually delivering high value to these clients is considerably less expensive, right? Like it's really high value to them, but the cost isn't so high to your business, right? So it'd be a high value, low cost solution. Bear in mind though, conversely, that the ticket price is normally going to be lower. So like we were talking about just now for the one-on-one aspect, you might be able to charge 5 to 10K a month. For the inner circle, you might not be able to do that unless you've already got a really, really big name for yourself and people are willing to pay you that kind of money anyway, just to be in your world and to learn from you and stuff like that. So bear in mind that the ticket price is going to be a little bit low. So this is one of the cons. But generally speaking, you'd be looking at a 6 to 12 month plus engagement. And what you want to create in this model is that people are coming into your world, they're staying for the year. And by the time that the year is up, it's so sticky because they're part of this world. They're used to seeing you every week on a call. They're used to interacting with your community and they're getting so much value that they just stick. Now think about it this way, right? If you're charging, let's say 1K a month, okay, for people to be in your inner circle, and part of that is you might have some strategic one-on-one, but it certainly isn't a one-on-one direct like VIP access sort of situation. You can have 30, 50 clients in there without it being a huge deal, right? You can still deliver this. Again, this is a pro in 5 to 10 hours a week. And depending how you set this up, right, you could probably even charge 2 to 3K for your inner circle, depending on who you are and depending on the resources that you have available to you. So this is one of the really, really good ways that you can take an existing program and create recurring revenue with it. So take this for an example. You have a 5K program that lasts for 12 weeks, right? And people are used to paying that. But what you can do is instead of having 5K for 12 weeks, you could do 1K a month for 12 months. And so what happens is actually you're 2.5xing the lifetime value of that client while creating recurring revenue. And then the first of the month comes rolling around. Well, you know you've already won and you know that you've already got everything in place to be rocking and rolling. Let's move on to the next one. Kicking us off with number 3 here, staying on the same theme. Imagine you have a 5K program. And the question is, well, how do we increase lifetime value? One of the things that you can do that works really well is that you have people go through a specific finite transformation, just like you already have your 5K program for 12 months. And after that, people can stick for, say, $500 a month, and where they can still get access to the support course and still get moved forward. What that'll do is if you're going to get paid 5K for 3 months and then nothing for the remaining 9, well, now you're adding 5K from the original 3 months with 4.5K from the $500 a month they're paying after that. So suddenly a 5K client's becoming a 9.5K client over the course of the year. So that's one of the ways that you can do it. Now, pros for this, it's pretty easy to do. If people are succeeding in your program and they want to stick in, well, what normally people do is they give them lifetime access to their community and everything else. I would say flip that. Make your community something really, really valuable. Make your support course something really, really valuable. There's nothing that says that you have to give everything away forever. You've given people access to this thing, and if they want to keep the course, then fine, but they don't need to be in your space occupying your time, right? Because these are people that are going to require time to serve. So one of the pros is that you can sell this pretty easy, and if you're getting people good results, you can just tack that on the end without actually changing your model at all. And that's a very, very powerful way to do that. One of the cons here is that if people are not bought into a 12 months transformation already, well, that might be tricky. So you might see drop off, and otherwise you might not have seen drop off, especially if you compare it to the model from before, let's say 1K a month for the 12 months. That might be an easier sell and you'll get higher uptake than 5K for 3 months and then $500 a month for the remaining months. But it all depends on how you structure this, right? This is definitely a very viable option, especially if you've already got a good list of clients. And one of the things you could even do is go to all of the clients that have lapsed and get back in touch with them and say, hey, we're opening up a private VIP community for everyone that's joined. I want to make sure that you guys are still crushing. Is that something that you'd be interested in? And when they say yes, how much does it cost? You can just say it's $500 a month, and that includes 2 group calls a month and Q&A in the group or whatever. That's a really, really easy way for you to create recurring revenue today, literally just using the assets that you already have. Coming in at number 2 then is tacking on a marketing / done for you service on the end of your offer. Right, so this is how it might look. Again, we're using the 5K for the 3 months. Say you're working with people who, you're helping them with their organic marketing. or whatever's going on. We're going to use this as an example. If you're helping them with their organic marketing, well, people that graduate through that, there'll be certain pain points that they experience, right? Like creating their assets might be something that they find difficult, their emails, they might want to graduate into paid ads, all kind of stuff. So by addressing the next problem that they're going to experience in their growth, you can tack that on as the next stage of your program. So people would be coming here to make sure that they are getting organic marketing and everything else. But when they graduate and they have more money, now they might want to hire you to help them create organic posts so they don't have to invest that time. Or they might want to scale using paid ads, in which case you can do that. So what you can do is run a hybrid of coaching/consultant plus agency. Pros, pretty easy sell, right? If someone's having a good experience with you and they want to go to the next level, well, then that's an obvious solution for them. You're just pre-seeing what problems they're going to have and preemptively saying, hey, well, I know that you're going to experience this, so let's just talk about that in the last 2 weeks together. And in the last 2 weeks, you then upsell them on what's going on. Cons, high value, high cost to you again. Having a done for you service and even done with you service, if it's very intense on the time commitment from your end, is a high value proposition for the client, but a high cost for you as well, meaning that to scale this effectively, you will need more staff or you will just need to leverage more of your own time, depending on what you've got going on. Bear this in mind. It's a really good way to add revenue, but for some people, top line revenue isn't necessarily what they really care about. They more care about their own lifestyle and how things are going. So that's something to bear in mind when looking at this particular model. It's still very effective and still a very easy sell. So something that you should consider if you've got the resources available to you and want to run that kind of business. Now, last but not least is something that everyone should be doing anyway, and that is using affiliate marketing when you recommend softwares or resources for your people to use. So for example, say you have funnel templates and you're in the BizOps space, right? Or you're helping people create funnels, whatever you've got going on as part of your operation. Well, recommending ClickFunnels or recommending Go High Level or recommending whatever funnel builder you use with an affiliate link is going to be creating recurring revenue. Similarly, any other software that you use, email sequences, CRM setups, automation for lead generation, any of this stuff, most software companies have an affiliate program because they know that they just make more money from it. And it's free money for them because you're bringing them all the clients and you're doing all the marketing. So it doesn't make sense to not have this in your program. Now, quick cons to this. Sometimes you can find that, in fact, the cons are here, aren't they? Sometimes you can find that if you give people software and it's complicated, if you don't frame this correctly, will become tech support for that software. And you don't want that, okay? So manage this expectation. Whenever someone's got a question about a software that isn't specifically yours, say, hey, reach out to their tech support about this. They'll be able to help you resolve that issue. Pro, a lot of the time, it will literally take you no extra work. You already use this thing. You already have a setup. Copying and pasting it into your client's world, if they're using a similar system to you, is going to be really, really easy. One of the things you're going to want to bear in mind with this kind of setup is that the recurring commission likely isn't going to be very high. So if you're doing something like ClickFunnels or Go High Levels or Unipro or whatever it is that you're promoting, you're likely getting between $40 to $100 per offer. So if you're running this in conjunction with a high ticket one-on-one VIP offer, it's still worth doing because it's free, right? For you, it's free to get them using that as a client, and therefore you get the affiliate kickback, but it's not going to generate a huge amount of revenue. This is something that's really useful if you've got a lot of people in your world. You've got thousands of people, and perhaps you've even got a membership site and people want recommendations on what's going on. I know people who've made millions and millions and millions off affiliate marketing alone. And that's because they've had a really large audience. So a big con for this one is it's really only effective if you've got a really large audience. And when I say effective, I mean it's going to be making you a lot of money. Now, that doesn't mean pro that you shouldn't be doing anyway, because money that you're making that's free money is still good money, right? Like if it's literally taking you 2 seconds to send someone a link or to have the link embedded in your course somewhere in your program, then that's certainly worth doing, and I bear it in mind. I think at recording at this time, we probably make an extra 5 to 10,000 a year just from affiliate stuff. And so what we really want to do is grow that to about 50,000 a year, because that would be nice, right? An extra 50K of literally zero overhead revenue. That's always something that's very enjoyable. Now, my favorite model for all of these is actually the Mastermind / Inner Circle. The reason for this is simple. What I really care about is having a highly leveraged business that delivers high value to the client without costing me tons and tons of time. So we actually set this up and we help our clients do the same using that model. So leveraging it really, really strongly and keeping delivery time below 5 hours a week while increasing monthly recurring revenue and adding those 30 to 50K to the actual business. Now, on top of that, layered within that is the affiliate play, right? Because the volume that you're getting in there is actually decent. at the price point that it is, given that it's leveraged and it's not entirely one-on-one, you can still have the affiliate links in there and it makes quite a big difference. So that's the way that we leverage this in terms of giving me the lifestyle that we want. The thing that's really, really important, and this might be worth for you thinking about watching this, is starting your business or continuing your business knowing what you actually want. And a lot of this comes in with placing limitations on the business, right? So you might have something like, I don't want to do sales calls on a Monday and a Friday. I only want to do calls with clients on 3 days a week. I want to be able to take long weekends most of the time. I don't want to work more hours than a normal job, let's say 8 hours a day or whatever. I want to be able to go on holiday for a month and the thing continues without me. Whatever you've got going on, when you lean into these limitations, it'll give you a space to actually create an offer that allows you to do that. That is why I really like the Mastermind / inner circle model, because the transformation clients going through are 12 months plus. They know that and they understand that it's an inner circle and a mastermind. It's not going to be a 1 month transformation. And inherently within that is the longer journey. So you can really affect change within them and build a really, really sticky community. And then, as I said, if you add affiliate marketing to the mix and some other tricks of the trade, which we don't need to discuss on this video, it gets really, really fun and something that's actually sustainable. And on the first of the month, then you know that everything's covered, your costs are covered, you've got business coming in, and you just have to focus on the slow growth that you were doing anyway, and life is pretty good. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. If you want to work with us directly, then there is going to be a link below this to my Facebook profile and an email list where you can join and you can message us and you can send us a text and we can carry on from there. And what we do is we literally help people build out these kind of offers and then help them with their lead gen and their content and all that good stuff to help them add those 30 to 50K to their business without it costing them more time. Otherwise, take action on this information. Information is only as powerful as we use it, right? Like knowing stuff but not doing anything about it is what everyone does, and they're just spinning their wheels and not really moving forward. So have that thought about the limitations that you want to set in your business, the boundaries through which you actually want to live, and then move forwards and take action and enjoy your business and your life. Thanks so much for your support, and we'll see you in the next video.